like that around there. It looks like the elephants have moved off for the time being. You're going to stay there, mister. It'd be nice to see you. Not fun. Oh, there's a couple more troop members here. Maybe he's just out on a limb. But not too far out the troop. Yeah, he's definitely holding up his back left, his front back. Oh, no, there he goes. He's running off. He was holding up his front left hand. Maybe he's got a thorn in it or something, or he's maybe have just sprained it in a fight or something, but it doesn't look like there's any blood there or anything, so nothing too much to worry about. I say maybe he just had a bit of a run-in with one of the other males and he had to be put back in his place, quite possibly. Really starting to warm up quite nicely now. You can still keep a lookout for Karula in here. Maybe she went down into a thick bush area and just sat down. Maybe for the park. Maybe she's quite hungry. Quite interesting, they a type of flannel weed, but they slightly different to the cedar species. And the flannel I don't know if we're going to be at the wrong angle for the hippo. Let's quickly have a look. Just have a So we'll probably be able to spend quite a bit of time with them. For those people who aren't able to watch the dam. And the Egyptian geese goslings seem to be, there's still 2 there, which is awesome. The parents are doing quite well now. Remember we started off with 5 goslings originally, but there was quite a large water monitor that lived around here. And the heron's also been around, so we think that between the 2 they may have taken a couple. And I was hoping that maybe little Bob was back. Bob being the baby hippo that was born, and that was also live. It was caught on our dam camera, and that was on the 5th of March. But I was hoping that maybe they returned yesterday, because they looked like there was quite a small hippo there, but we didn't get a chance to see them too much. But we'll have a look up towards Buffelshoek Dam, because I think Bob's still there with its mother. Alrighty, there is someone also wanting to cross the dam, so we'll have to move on. As I say, if you'd like to watch the hippos a little bit more, then we will be able to have a chance with the dam camera in between the drives. And quite often it's quite interesting to get to see them moving around and sunbathing and opening their mouths, playing. We've got a lot of different behaviour on these cameras.
And the hunters move accessible within a 2 o'clock between Kikoma and Brian Alfie, and the hunters move there. Okay, everybody is moving for the morning. Yeah, the middle school was a motor country. Everybody on there. Yeah, I think when I got the light is good now.
Okay, so we're now turning on to Mbubu Road. See if we can pick up anything this side. heading through to Buckleslip Dam. The party on that side seems to be very relaxed, but it does look like the herd that was there have moved a bit further back. What have we got here? Lots of tyre tracks. Someone's also been looking down here. More impala. This is possibly the herd that was given an alarm call a little bit earlier on. Possibly moved from Central Drive onto Ruby Roadside. Nope. Ah, there we go. Yep. Yep, I can copy you. Awesome. Thank you very much, Janine. You say you find the asparagus in the south of France. Wow. And I wonder if it also can get used for medicinal properties, or whether it's just a species that you can eat. Okay. Heather, thank you so much. That also sounds a very interesting book, Stalking the Wild Asparagus. And Heather's from Alaska, and she said she found it in the northwest of the US. And it has also an amino acid which also helps with health problems. And I think he was saying asparagine. Was that right, Cass? Asparagine. Yeah, asparagine. Well, that's quite interesting. And you're also saying that it's difficult to know if it's a truly wild plant or that's been moved around the country, the world, and cultivated. Because it has been cultivated quite dramatically. I think let's try this 2-track down here. I don't know what this 2-track's called. I don't think it's got a name. It goes down towards the lodge. But thank you very much for that information, Heather, and I certainly will be looking around for the book. It sounds quite an interesting book. Look down here, because if the boys are down here, sometimes they do run around this area. More legs dangling from the tree. Amazing. Even now I can see a lot of the bushes died back. Last time I drove down here you couldn't really see the rooms too well. From the lodge. amazing. Hearing anything or seeing anything. No. So difficult to see those low-lying branches and bushes. Left, so we'll definitely try and see if we can head up to Buffers Hook, have a look around there, and as I said, I do want to go down towards Quarry Pan. The rhinos do seem to spend quite a bit of time that side, and we'll do a bit of a zigzag. I think we'll go up onto Buffers Hook Cliff Line, down Gowrie Cliff Line, and then up Hyena. Just sort of do a bit of a zigzag there and just see if we can pick up anything. Everybody know, my name's Tara, and you're joining us today 100% live from the bush, and it's from Djuma Game Reserve here in South Africa, and you're basically joining a live game drive. So what we are seeing, you are seeing. I go out looking for animals, but also show you what the rest of the bush has to offer as well. So obviously the animals are awesome sight, and you get a chance to see them. But sometimes they don't always cooperate and be out where we can see them, so we try and track them where we can, and that's what we've been doing this morning. We had a sighting, a quick brief sighting of Karula from one of the other vehicles, and she disappeared. She's one of our resident female leopards. She disappeared into the bush. So we've been trying to look around the area where she may come out of. I say it's part of the job to try and relocate, and you try and use the knowledge of the animal, what they're most likely to do, to try and predict where it is that they'll go. But as I say, they don't always follow what you predict. And we think that she is possibly still in the block somewhere just south of Gowrie Dam. I've been driving around, there's been a couple of other stations driving around that area, so I think she is still in that block somewhere. She's found a nice spot to sit and wait for Impala again to come through. She was trying to hunt, and that's what alerted us to her. And joining me this morning we have Herman on camera, and we've got Caroline in final control, and she's directing any questions towards me, channeling any questions to me, or any information you'd like to send through, and you can do that final control at safari.tv. So if you would like to ask anything, whether it's anything related to what we've seen or anything that you maybe watching a documentary and you've always thought, oh, why is that, or why is this, then we'll be able to answer those questions for you. And with this being live, get your questions answered as we are driving, looking for the animals that live here in Djuma Game Reserve. And so it's a beautiful morning here. I really wish you guys could feel the temperature. It is so beautiful. So it did start off a little bit cold to begin with, both myself and Mum had numerous layers on. Obviously, just like the birds do with their feathers, try and have as many layers on to trap as much air as possible. Keeps you much warmer than just one layer. Just like the birds fluffing up the feathers to hold a layer of insulating air. Hooktail drongo is going on. Unfortunately, as I say, with the winter coming in, we're not seeing as many birds as we can do during the summer. As it's cooler in the morning, you don't get them coming out to the roads as much as we used to. You still see the francolins in the road, but again, it's just like humans. If they can stay where it's warmer, they will. So you get them, unless they advertise in the territories, they'll rather stick closer into the bush where the heat's caught in between the trees and in the bushes and the shrubs. We now turned on to fire break. I don't think it's on the map if people are following us. So I have another vehicle pretty much doing the same as me, doing loops around. I must admit, you do sort of get to that stage where if you've been looking for quite a long time trying to find the animal, you really want to find. It's kind of almost personal pride to actually be able to find the animal. I think that's definitely what Graham is up to at the moment, because obviously he's been on the drag mark of the possibly from behind, following it all, and
Hi everyone, Kaz in final Hi everyone, it's Kaz in final control. Sorry about the breakup here. We have gone to black on the jigger, so I thought I'd have a look and see what's happening at Gowrie Dam while we get our signal back. Catch up with you in a bit.
welcome back everybody. Unfortunately there was a bit of signal breakup there. But sounds like you guys are back with us now. Ooh. Oh, there's a brown hooded kingfisher. Where did you just fly to now? There he is. He's just sitting right out on the open there. It'd be quite nice if we can get him. You don't often see them around here. Can you see him? Oh, you can see him. Okay. You can see just that electric blue on the wing and the red of his bill. And so with most of the kingfishers you have that electric blue. Very, very stunning. Here he goes. Brown-hooded kingfishers usually eat insects and small rodents. That's why, small lizards. And that's why you won't really see them around the dam. So there's only about 4 out of the 10 species of kingfisher who will eat fish as the major part of their diet. But the brown-hooded isn't one of them. So you'll find them in the bush like this. They'll go to a pan to drink. But you won't see them waiting on a branch, waiting for a fish, like the malachite kingfisher, which is a very, very small kingfisher. The giant kingfisher also, you'll find those around dams. The pied kingfisher, which we've been seeing quite a lot of up by Buffalo's Hook Dam. And you also have the half-collared kingfisher, who's also roughly a little bit bigger than the malachite. I wonder if he's going to catch something. No, we'll come back.
He doesn't want to show it.
No, he doesn't know. He just flew down. I wonder if he actually caught something or not. But he obviously had his eye on something. It could have been a grasshopper or maybe a small lizard. But he just flew off in the wrong direction. So I don't know if he was successful or not. And as I say, it is one of the resident kingfishers around here. Someone said there may have been the leopard in this block here. That's why I wanted to drive down here. Doesn't look like they're going to make an appearance. Looking quite relaxed now. And if there's anybody that's joining us for the first time, it's very, very easy to tell if impala are male or female, because they don't have horns. Males are the only ones that have horns. But obviously with some antelope there will be some females that have horns. You see the youngsters there. This one's, what are we in now? Nearly May, so probably about 5 months old now, this little boy in front of us. You see his horns are already starting to get quite long now. I must admit, these are one of my favourite antelope. See, the coats are in very good condition, very shiny. Now with most antelope you can kind of guesstimate the age, especially for the males with horns. But for the females it's a little bit more difficult. And there's a lot of different theories. One of them I've heard is you just look at the length of the skull. Now, are you looking at me or are you looking at something past me? If you have a look at this female here. Because certainly these 4 females have all been looking up, but this one in particular, I don't know if she's looking past us or whether she's actually looking at me. Now the others don't seem to be too concerned. No, I think she might just be looking at us. So the others don't seem to be looking at what she's looking at. Hi Alan, welcome on board this morning. I hope you're doing well. And I've just got a question asking about, obviously I was saying earlier about the antelope having a thicker pelt. And you're just asking, do the cats also have, like the lions, the cheetah and the leopard? And it does get thicker to a certain degree. And obviously where if they in quite a high altitude you'll actually see a slight difference in the pelt length from a leopard maybe down here in the Sawi Sands to maybe a leopard up on quite a high altitude, maybe in say like Leidenburg or even up into the very, very cold parts, because obviously leopard is one of the most widespread cats in the world, and they go into the Amur Valley in Russia, right through to Africa. So there's going to be a lot of variables, different changes in temperature, different changes in habitats, different changes in altitude. So you will find sort of slight variations in the pelt. So obviously being more thicker in the colder areas, but you will also find a difference during the summer and the winter. I say I can already see it in some of these impala. I can see some with a much, much thicker pelt than others. But even cats at home, cats and dogs, you'll see that they also have a thickening of the fur. This female's calling here, look. The female calling very, very softly here to our left. Oh, she's coughing, that's why. I thought she was just calling very softly. She's actually just coughing. Sorry guys. Let's see if we can roll through them without disturbing them too much. You see these guys are in desperate need of oxpeckers. There's quite a few with a few ticks on them now. Wonder where all the oxpeckers are this morning. Maybe they're all with the big herd of buffalo. You still see just the one ram with the herd. So we've got about half an hour left to drive. Still want to try and go towards Buffalo's Hook Down, but let's see how we do. I haven't heard anything else from the guys still looking for Karula on that side where we were. I'm not sure if they did see anything. I would hear the radio going quite a lot. Of course, it's starting to become the time where the guests are going to be returning to the lodge now for breakfast. So I'm going to go this way. So used to keep going around this corner here. Very rarely come down here and turn left. So we're coming down from Gowrie Cut Line onto Central.
Maybe even close to Jacobin's side, you can move it and go. I think I'm going to go for...
Just talking about some elephants by Jacobin's side. Where's that? Is that further north from where we are? Is it? Okay. If there's any rhinos along here, so obviously we've got the midden close to the junction with Hyena. We just see two probably about 4 or 5 days ago now on Central Drive, but we did pick up some tracks moving north from there. As I say, they're highly routine animals, so they will have their particular pathways that they walk. So if you can get used to where the middens are in the area, it's usually quite a helpful one to try and determine where those rhinos might be. We've got Sapeway taking over from Caroline in Fire Control, so if you'd like to send any emails into Fire Control at safari.tv, then Sapeway will be there to send them through to me. It doesn't look like the Rhino Midden has got anything new. Just see, I saw a couple of bits, but no. There's one or two flies buzzing around because when there's something new, then flies usually come around here. Ooh, something there though. I'll move that out your way. But someone has been using the rhino midden. Now, I wonder if anyone knows what that belongs to. And it's quite possible the owner may have been looking through the rhino dung for any uneaten food. Quite possibly. If there's anybody in the chat rooms that know. So it's very small if I put my finger there. Hopefully you can get the size of it. And the culprit will also have another type of dung. It'll have quite a dark coloured dung, and you probably won't ever see it.
Motion Konzo for Ingwe, Fuzzy Ingwe, must be Kurilla, on the southern side of Treehouse Dam, going
Sure.
west. So yeah, I'm sure crossed over into Little Gary.
Okay, just a update coming through. Sorry, I'm just gonna. So it was just an update coming through about some tracks. Sounds like it's possibly from Karula onto Treehouse Dam to the west. It sounds like they're already crossing over and into. I think they said Little Gary, so that must be to the south of Treehouse Dam. But they said very, very fresh track. So she sounds like she's given her the slip at some stage. So while we were driving around, she must have snuck out and continued down. But it might not be her. It might be Whitecloth, because I know she's been in the area. So maybe it's her that's come in and gone out again. That'll be quite interesting just to keep a listen out to what's been going on there. So is there anybody in the chat rooms that know who the culprit is of this dung yet? Or any of the emails coming through? Sorry, I missed the second part of that, Sapiwe. So, well done to Cindy. She's got it right. It's scrub hare. Remember, hares have a very poor digestive system, so they'll eat the first dung that comes out. Okay, Sapiwe can... Yeah, Sapiwe. Yeah, Sapiwe, can you just repeat the second name? Josh. Okay. Alright. So Josh, you also got it right. So the scrub hare, it'll eat the first set of dung, because it's got quite a lot of nutrients still locked in it. So once it eats the first set of dung, it'll go through the system again, and the second set is what you see here. And you can see it's very, very pale in colour. And that's because all of the nutrients that could possibly come out of it has been taken out of it. So this is the dung that, and especially if you have pet rabbits or hares at home, this is what you'll find in the hutch. But the high quality dung, if you like, you won't normally see because they tend to eat it as soon as it comes out. So you won't really find that lying around here. So well done to Cindy and to Josh for getting that right. Actually, I wanted to get up high and I didn't. Sorry, Sapiwe, you broke up a little bit there. Oh, okay. Okay, we're gonna go up Hyena Road and just see. I'm impressed with everybody's dung knowledge. It's definitely getting there. I'm just having a look. There's a couple of little pans along here. I just want to see if the rhinos are going to come around to see if they can wallow in the pan. And as I say, I'll definitely put up the picture of the tree with the berries and the leaves that I was talking about, the kubu berry earlier. Sorry, I got distracted. Here's a couple of the little pans. Doesn't look like there's been anything around there. But I still think the boys are still around that area with the leopards. I think they're still around the lodge area. So we might have to wait until the afternoon to see if we can catch up with them. So I haven't seen any fresh tracks from the rhinos or the elephants in the last couple of days that we've been out. Sounds like the elephants have gone a little bit north again, and hopefully they'll make their way back. But it seems to be that buffalo herd has been doing some form of routine. So we may bump into them later on this afternoon if they're in the same sort of area. Okay. So I just have to keep reminding myself about the height of the area. I keep forgetting it's slightly higher than the old jigger. Missed it again. I do have the odd occasional buffalo and some elephant dung in the road, but again it all looks very, very old. What we're looking for is obviously the fresh stuff. Right, there's still flies around, it's still wet. See, maybe the Duggar boys might have a little bit later from the bush to go wallowing in mud holes. Sorry, little hornbill. yellow-billed hornbills were just sitting in the road. Looking like they're up to some mischief then. Again, this one you will hear on the damp cam. And if you can put the words to it, it says get back, and then it's more than likely the hornbills. It can be the red or the yellow-billed. There's a very, very slight difference in their call. So they say, go back, 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 go back. It's a very easy call to determine, and I say it's on the damn camera sounds quite a lot. You guys should be able to hear them on a fairly regular basis. I've heard that the red-billed hornbill stutters a little bit more than the yellow-billed. I can see a difference with the dung in the road. Oh. Sorry, Speedway, I do copy. There was just something coming through on the radio. But we trying to get to a better signal area for everybody. We should be clearing up along here. A little tree squirrel in the middle of the road there. Running again. Sure. Coming back onto Buffalo Cook Line, we should get signal here. Oh, we've got a giraffe in the road. Let's see. Can you see him all right there? Is it still a little bit? Okay. I can't see if there's any more at the moment. It looks like a female. So there may be more around. I don't know. I'm just going to show you should always use binoculars. Here's a little male. So we have got a little bit of distance between us, and those horns look fairly bristly from here. So it just goes to show all those little characteristics And people say you can tell if it's a male or female. You always have to put them all together. Because this male doesn't look like it's been fighting too much because he still has the fur on top of his horns. As generally the older males will have the fur worn down on top of the horns. Let's see if we can try and get a little bit closer. Okay. Hopefully it'll stay a little bit longer. Let's see if we can get another shot of him here, and then I'll see if we can roll down a little bit closer. But he doesn't look a particularly old male. Maybe about 7, 8, something like that. And the giraffes do seem to, obviously the growth starts to slow down once they hit maturity around 6, 7, 8 years old. And just remember, if you've got any questions you'd like to ask about the giraffe or anything else, then you can feel free to send them in to farmcontrol@safari.tv. And it's quite amazing how quickly they do grow in the first year as well. If you've got about the size of the stomach, or height of the stomach off the floor, you've got the baby about 2 meters tall, obviously trying to reach the mother's teats. And you'll get the full, within the year, you get the baby actually being taller than the mother's back by the end of the year. So that's quite a big growth spurt if you think about it. And so that's how I usually guesstimate the age of a giraffe, according to the size of the baby giraffe to the mother. And when they're very, very, very new, obviously you've still got the umbilical cord, which stays about 6 weeks. Let's see if we can roll down a little bit.
Push loads, push loads, push loads. Four.
Ah, little giraffe, did you have any friends with you? Just on the side here. You see past the tree? Is that okay?
Yeah, morning I think it's going to be a little bit
Oh, it's
late
in
for the
between the
breakfast.
tree.
A
little bit more?
long way.
Just there? More?
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, yes, P-Way, you're breaking up a little bit there. I do now. There we go. We're on Buffalo's Hook line at the moment. I think Alaska. So this is on our northern boundary of. Oh, there is another one in front of us. So it's on our northernmost boundary of where we traverse. We have quite a big male just in front of us. He's much, much darker. Looks much, much older than this male that we're looking at the moment. Oh, we have the dwarf mongoose out on the road. See, now it's starting to really warm up. I can feel the difference now. And obviously that's pulling the animals out of the bush more. My head in the way, is that okay? It's chewing the cud at the moment. I don't know if you could just see that movement in the neck. And he just sort of pulled his head in a little bit. You can see on top of his horns that fur's worn down a lot more than what the other male's was. So he's obviously done a lot more fighting, and if you look between the eyes you can see there's a lot more of the calcified lumps. I do use the term horns on giraffe very, very loosely. They are known as ossicles, and they sort of bony core with the skin over the top of them. Okay, Caroline's just asking about the white on the giraffe. Obviously with the ears, it's a follow me sign. You can see those white ears standing out quite nicely, but they also have that white patch on the neck, and it'll probably be the same thing. It's still high up on the neck. And obviously the head's much lighter than the body. In most of the giraffe that I've seen, there tends to be a lot more white on the, or lighter colours should I say, not really white, on the head. Probably just helps them to find each other, locate each other. I say the eyesight is very, very good. You can see way off into the bush. And even now this giraffe's probably able to see the other giraffe behind us, which is probably a good 50, 60 meters into the bush behind us, and he's certainly looking in that direction. It's quite possible that these two are maybe forming a bachelor group. The older male possibly teaching the younger male how to spar and to defend himself. And you can usually tell if they've been fighting quite a lot. You have a lot of fur wearing down around the chest and the neck area. And it does make them look a little bit more pale, so sometimes it looks like they've almost been sheared, and it just changes the colour of the pattern slightly. It makes it a lot lighter because the fur wearing off as they're fighting, they're sparring. Okay, I've got a question. I didn't quite copy that message. Can you just send it again? Did you copy it?
No.
No. Is it possible just to send that message through again, Sir P-Way? Thank you very much, Sapiwe. So we have Michael asking, how do giraffes fight? Well, they'll stand shoulder to shoulder, and they'll stand sort of next to each other. And it's quite funny because if you get younger males who are sort of learning how to fight, if they're not stood in the right position, you'll actually get the older males walking around them, and it's almost as if they're trying to turn them in the right direction so that they stand shoulder to shoulder, so they both face forward, and then they use the head and the neck, and they throw the head and neck down, and they hit the other giraffe around the chest or the neck area. So they sometimes sort of dig their horns into the side. Sometimes it looks like a ballet. It's quite an interesting way to fight. But when they're sparring, you can see that they almost pull the blows, so they're not hitting each other too hard. But when they're fighting for real, you really hear the knock that happens, and obviously the one that can knock the other one the hardest wins the fight. And you'll also get them pushing each other and sort of almost using their weight behind it quite often as well. And that's why you have on the head these lumps that form in between the eyes and on top of the head, and they just calcium deposits, and they form these lumps. And the more lumps that they have, the older they are, because obviously they've done a lot more fighting, so they get laid down as they start to fight. And it just protects their head, like a crash helmet almost, like if you've got a crash helmet for a bike. It's the same sort of principle, so it just protects the skull and the brain a lot more. Did you hear that snorting?
I heard it.
There's some snorting off to the right, but I can't see what it is. I don't know if I think it could be another giraffe in there. I was hoping this big boy might just walk out in front of us. I think he's quite happy in the shade at the moment. And the other giraffe is certainly gone. In all your information and your questions. And as I say, a little bit of an energy buzz, hoping to try and find Karula this morning. But hopefully she might make an appearance later on, or at least the boys might do. Obviously we're putting the groundwork for it, so hopefully you might be able to see them a little bit later on drive. But the giraffe was certainly nice, and so are the little mongoose on the road there. I'd say you can definitely feel a difference with the temperature. The animal's also feeling it. But again, I'll put up all those information that I promised. I'll put those up on the web pages. And thank you very much to everybody again for joining me on the drive this morning, and Herman from the camera, and Caroline and Sapiwe in Final Control. You've been watching Safari TV, and I hope you join us again at 3 o'clock this afternoon for our next drive.